And now for a Next News special report.
Tonight I'm bringing you a story that might just change the way you look at our nation's future. Imagine a year so pivotal, so fraught with challenges that it could reshape the very fabric of our republic. Tucker Carlson at the recent Risk on 360 Global Success Conference unveiled a vision of 2024 that's not just alarming, it's a clarion call to every patriot. He warns of a storm brewing on the horizon, one that threatens to upend our cherished values and way of life. But what exactly lies within this storm? Why is Tucker urging Americans to brace for impact, and how does this tie into our current state of leadership and media? Stay with me because you don't want to miss a single detail of this report, especially the crucial final thoughts that could redefine your view of America's path forward. Now, before we dive into Tucker Carlson's profound insights, let's acknowledge those who make our hard-hitting journalism possible. Just like a sturdy foundation is essential for strong building, our sponsors are the cornerstone of the fearless news we deliver. Supporting them is akin to bolstering a fortress that guards the truth. And speaking of fortresses, let's talk about fortifying your health. In a world full of fleeting solution, I have discovered something remarkable. It's a superior type of collagen. It's not just a supplement, it's a shield against aging, maintaining your vigor and your youthful glow. Join the ranks of thousands who trust its potency and grab this chance to rejuvenate yourself with an exclusive 53% off discount at healthwithgary.com. You can access this by tapping more below the video. Now tonight, we delve into Tucker Carlson's ominous warning about 2024, a year he believes will be like no other in American history. At the Risk on 360 Global Success Conference in Las Vegas, Carlson didn't just speak. He sounded an alarm, one that resonates with the corners of many Americans. In his speech, a blend of sharp criticism and hard truth sheds light on the deepening divisions and paranoia that's plaguing our nation. Let's begin. Watch.
I'm just telling you, once again, what you already know, which is this is going to be, the next year is going to be, I think I'd bet my house on it, really like nothing we've ever seen in the country. And everyone can kind of feel that. You know, most of our perceptions come through intuition rather than reason. And if you have dogs, you know this because they can't understand literally a word you say because they don't speak English, hardly any of them. But if you're close to your dog, you know the dog knows exactly what's going on, knows when it's time to go out, knows when you're going on a trip. Why is that? Because they don't hear anything, they just watch. And they feel. And people are very much the same. And if something bad is about to happen, everybody gets jumpy. And everybody's really jumpy right now. So I'm not here to, make your anger and paranoia worse, just the opposite. I'm here merely to suggest a couple of things that I think you could do about it and that might be useful rather than pointless. Like spending a ton of time on social media screaming at people. Well, obviously I do that for a living. And I would never discourage anyone from doing it. Probably aren't going to solve your problem. So the first thing I think that's really important as you stare down the next 12 months is to accept the fact that all your senses are telling you the truth. A good friend of mine called Gavin DeBecker once wrote a book, the thesis of which was every feeling, every gut level feeling you've ever had is real, is totally true. That your gut is the one thing that doesn't lie to you. Your gut only has your interest in mind. It is not trying to sell you a product or convince you to vote for it. It's acting solely on your behalf. So if you get a very strong message from your viscera, from your intuition, obey it. Take it very seriously. As I always tell my children, if you're talking to somebody and the person seems creepy, he's creepy. It doesn't mean you can convict him in a court of law for creepiness, though maybe you should try, but you don't need to. All you need to know is that what your senses are telling you is absolutely true. This person's creepy. If you feel deception, you're being lied to, period. Now, you may not know how you're being lied to or why you're being lied to, much less what the truth is. You probably don't. I, most of the time, have no idea. But if you feel you're being lied to, you're 100% right. You are being lied to. And if you feel that something very intense and history-changing is about to happen, don't ignore it. Don't panic. There's no profit in that. You can't control it. You're not in charge of history. No offense. None of us is. But that is absolutely real.
Carlson pivoted to targeting the state of our leadership. He didn't mince words, calling out the senility and ineffectiveness at the highest levels of government. Liars are weak, he said. They're weak and afraid. They can't even admit that the president is senile. That's what he asserted. This isn't just a political jab, it's a stark reality check on the competency of those steering our great nation. Watch.
So, just ask yourself, just on the merits of the facts. You've got the two frontrunners just for president, just in this country, and there are, by the way, 150 other countries where there's similar volatility unfolding, certainly in every Western country. But just in our country, you've got two people running for president. One of them is literally senile. I'm not attacking the guy, but that's true. Maybe not fully aware that he's president. The White House is being run by a cartel of people for whatever ends. We have no visibility into that. We don't know what the plan is. We know the guy they claim is running it is not running it. So that's grotesque. And by the way, no one ever mentions it. People snicker at Joe Biden. I try not to because I feel bad for him, because I don't believe in making fun of old people or the disabled. I'm serious. I really don't. I feel guilty every time I say it, including now. But it's just true. He's not running the country. And yet he's standing for re-election at the age of 80. Okay? Opposing him is a man who has been indicted 4 times and is facing life in prison. Life in prison. And every time he gets indicted and every time they tack years on to the sentence, this potential sentence, he becomes more popular, and now he's winning. So love it. Amen. But it tells you a couple of things. One, the side that's indicting him doesn't want him to be president so badly that they are willing to indict him on what are transparently ridiculous charges. Okay? And two, the public is not only not buying it, it is incentivizing them to support him. Indict him again. Arrest him again. March him out to the gallows. He'll become king. So it's literally counterproductive. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the people currently in charge have no idea how the country works, what the country wants, and they don't care. They don't understand human nature. They're desperate, and they'll do literally anything.
Next, Carlson turned his gaze abroad, scrutinizing America's involvement in the Ukraine conflict. In a time when our nation faces numerous internal challenges, he questions the wisdom of entangling ourselves in distant wars. What are the real motives and benefits of our involvement? These are questions that demand answers, as they directly impact our national security and the lives of countless Americans. Watch.
When you see a war like the war in Ukraine, and I think, and I have always thought since day one, that good people can have differing views on that. I have my own views. I don't expect anyone else to share them. I don't attack anyone for not having my views. I've certainly been attacked for my views, but I think decent people can come to any variety of conclusions. But in the end, no one really benefited, actually, from that war. No one benefited. I saw a video today of the latest class of Ukrainian army recruits. They were older than I am. And I'm pretty freaking old, close to death. And these guys were at least as old and much closer to death. And by their faces, you knew they knew it. They looked miserable. This is a country that's run out of men, and they're not going to win. So, people win or lose wars. I get it. You make a bad bet. You think this is going to work. It doesn't. I understand that. I've done it many times. But for American policymakers, for Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, to announce yesterday that we must continue this war, what is that? A war with no hope of winning? When the best possible outcome is a generation of grandfathers gets slaughtered? What? Because why? What you're looking at is someone who is thrilled, and I mean Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary specifically, who is thrilled by the prospect of people dying. Death is an inherent good. You're watching death worship. That's exactly what that is. Make no mistake. And I'm not attacking anyone who's for Ukraine or Zelensky. That's not what I'm saying. I'm merely saying at this point, right now, if you're rational at all, and you take 10 minutes to read about it, there's no other outcome other than prolonged human suffering, period. And if you're endorsing that, you have to ask why.
However, it's not just foreign policy and cultural issues that drew his ire. A significant portion of his speech was dedicated to the role of the media. In a scathing critique, he accused them of not only spreading falsehoods, but also of actively suppressing the truth. If you feel you're being lied to, you're 100% right. This isn't just about bias, it's about a concerted effort to shape public opinion and hide reality. Watch.
And then there's the question of lying. And the question of lying, since I'm in the media, though I don't admit it very often anymore, well, I guess now I'm unemployed, but I was in the media. It's a big question. I mean, when I started in this business following my father, who was in this business, in 1991, there was really just kind of one, well, the unspoken rule was have an interesting life and learn how to tell a story at dinner and, don't pass out till you get home. But the explicit rule in journalism really was just one, was to tell the truth. We're in the truth business, that's it. And of course we get it wrong. When we get it wrong, we admit it. The basic requirement of seeking the truth is admitting when you don't find it, right? That's how you know an honest person, when he admits he was wrong. And if you're dealing with people who never admit they're wrong, you're dealing with liars. So there have always been liars, and there always will be. But what we're seeing now is very, very different. Because the kinds of lies, there are two things that make it different. The kinds of lies that we're hearing are not conventional lies at all. They're the inversion of the truth. They're the exact opposite. They're the mirror image of what is true. And anyone who has kids knows exactly what I'm talking about. All kids lie. This is how you know it's inherent to the human condition. All kids lie. Even your beloved little Dylan, he lies, okay? But they lie in a very specific way. So you come down for breakfast, you open the cabinet, and half the Oreos are gone. And you say, Dylan, did you eat an Oreo? And he's like, oh, no. You ate an Oreo, didn't you? Yeah, just one. Dylan, there are 12 Oreos gone. Well, maybe 2. You get it. He's lying. He knows he's lying. He's ashamed of what he did. He's trying to hide it. You caught him. He's doubly ashamed you caught him. And so he's trying to hedge a little bit. Well, it's not as bad as you think. Not that bad. A person only ate 2. I didn't eat 12. And instead of, smacking him and saying, you liar, you get it, right? If Dylan worked in the Biden administration, he would stare right in your eyes and smile and say, I didn't eat any Oreos. You did. You ate the Oreos. You ate the Oreos. And he would be so calm and unperturbed and so certain of your guilt that in your mind you would think, shit, did I eat the Oreos? Maybe I did. Maybe I sleptwalked. Because we're not used to dealing with people who can lie without guilt. That's why the polygraph works. And everyone lies about the polygraph. Irony of ironies, they lie about the lie detector test. And they're like, oh, it's not admissible in court. It doesn't work. Oh, it certainly does work. No, it's not admissible in court. I don't know why, but if you work for a big company or CIA or DOD, or if you work for any organization where telling the truth is a high-stakes matter, they will polygraph you. And if you've ever been polygraphed, you know how effective it is. And it's effective because people don't like to lie. They do it because they feel they have to, because they're hiding the truth about themselves. I get it. But they don't like it. And something in your body, literally in your body, rebels against lying. You tell a lie, your palms will sweat involuntarily, your heart rate will increase, and you will breathe more quickly. And that's what they're measuring, so they know you're lying. So it takes a very rare person to lie in the way that we're being lied to. And it takes a very rare moment to see lying at this scale. But the final fact that makes this moment different is that they're not just lying, they hate the truth. They're offended by things purely because they are true.
And in a powerful statement on personal integrity, Carlson implored his audience to always seek and speak the truth. Quote, the only way to stay alive and fully human in a moment like this is to resolve that you are going to tell the truth in every and all circumstances. That's what he urged. This call to truth isn't just for journalists or public figures, it's a directive for every citizen in our republic. Watch.
What Americans care about and compare those to the policy priorities of your government. They're not the same. They don't care what you think. They're not interested in what you think. That's publicly available information. They're not reading it because they don't want to, because it doesn't matter to them. They're in charge, you're not. So the truth is, it's very hard to fight that. I'm not exactly sure how, but I know that it begins with the strength inside you. If you are weak, you will never prevail. And that explains their determined effort to make you weak by feeding you poisonous garbage, by trying to make you take medicine that is not at all medicine, by their insistence that you shut up and hate yourself, by their claim that your children are not your own. They have no interest in you having dignity. In fact, your dignity and strength is a threat to them. That's why they closed the gyms and kept the weed dispensaries open. That's why the churches were shut down, but the strip bars weren't. And I'm not attacking strip bars in Vegas. I'm merely saying, what is that? And of course, It's a determined, systematic effort to weaken the population in order to limit their resistance to what they plan for us. Obviously, oh, you're a conspiracy nut. No, I just have lived here for the last 4 years. And that just could not be more obvious. And so I'm not calling for armed insurrection. I hope it doesn't get to that. I'm calling instead for a population that becomes stronger inside. And also outside. You know, physically stronger. I think that's worth it. But it's more than that.
Now, let's not forget the backdrop against which these words are spoken. The United States is currently embroiled in conflicts in both Eastern Europe and the Middle East. This global turmoil only highlights a sense of urgency in Carlson's message. He sees these as attempts to weaken the American spirit, and his call to action is clear. We must remain strong and dignified in the face of adversity. His message resonates deeply in a country weary of political correctness and censorship. It speaks to those who feel their voices are being drowned out by the cacophony of conformist rhetoric. Carlson's warning for 2024 is more than a prediction. It's a plea for Americans to wake up and take a stand for the values that have long defined our nation. Yet amidst these challenges, Carlson's vision is not one of despair, but of resilience. He believes in the American spirit and the ability of citizens to rise above these trials and forge a path of integrity and truth. This isn't just a call to weather a storm. It's an invitation to be the lighthouse in the tempest. As we reflect on Tucker Carlson's words, it's crucial to remember the power of truth in an era of misinformation. In a time when narratives are often shaped more by convenience than fact, Carlson's admonition to adhere to the truth is a beacon of hope. He challenges us to look beyond the superficial layers of political rhetoric and media spin, to question the narratives being fed to us, and to seek the deeper truths that define our national character. Carlson's message also serves as a reminder of the responsibility that comes with freedom. In a republic, the power and duty to shape the future lie not just with elected officials, but with every citizen. His warning for 2024 is a call to exercise this power wisely, to stay informed, to engage in meaningful dialogue, and to make decisions that uphold the principles upon which our nation was founded. As we approach the pivotal year of 2024, we must ask ourselves, what kind of America do we want to live in? What values do we want to uphold? And how can we contribute to creating a future that reflects the best of our national character? If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's not just about staying updated, it's about joining a community committed to preserving the truth and integrity of our republic. Now, in closing, let's consider why Tucker Carlson's ominous warning for 2024 matters deeply to each of us. His speech isn't merely a forecast of political turbulence. It's a clarion call for vigilance and action. And as Americans, we're at a crossroads, facing choices that will define our nation's future. Our republic's strength lies in its people, in our ability to discern truth from falsehood, to stand firm in our convictions, and to shape our destiny through informed, principled action. Carlson's message resonates not just as a warning, but as a reminder of our duty as citizens of a great nation. It's a call to uphold the values of integrity, courage, and personal responsibility. As we navigate the challenges ahead, let's remember that the fate of our republic rests not on the hands of a few, but in the collective will and wisdom of its people. So let's rise to the occasion.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.